Hello friends, I am Andy Green with Green Group Real Estate. It has been a while since we've come to you with let's call it a mortgage minute, a mortgage market update. I have got my good friend, Mr. Chad Krober with Academy Mortgage, and he is the...
Hello everyone, I am your purpose-driven lender at Academy Mortgage. Yes.
There you go. That's exactly what he is. So we wanted to talk about, number one, the real estate market, number two, the mortgage market, and then number three, how can we put you in a position to win in today's market? Because it is challenging.
Very difficult, all the way around.
Very challenging all the way around. So our goal is to help put you in a position to win in today's market. So without further ado, let's start with the real estate market. What's going on with the real estate market? I am not going to go into all of the numbers and stats because you guys have all heard that it's a really hard market right now. Inventory is super low. Inventory is super low. That means that it is very challenging time for buyers. It is a very, very good time. As a matter of fact, it is the best time that I have ever seen in the history of my 20 plus year career to be a home seller in today's market. And I'm telling people that. They're like, I'm waiting until September. I go, no, you're not. I really don't tell them what to do. But if there's any way that you can put your home on the market today,
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And they're doing it, and they are reaping the rewards, friends. So keep that in mind if you have to sell your house. So new listings, closed sales, pending sales, year over year, they're all up. That, of course, last year was our first year of COVID. We're going into COVID,
right?
And nobody knew what was happening, and like the world shut down. So, of course, the first 4 months of the year, which is what we have numbers on, are better this year by a long shot. 60% were up, 40s. Like you're seeing some big numbers.
Yep.
And year over year, you're seeing the same thing. So, a couple things. Inventory, 0.8 months of supply. That's where we're at. That's where we've been at the past 2 months. And that is ridiculously low, and that's what's affecting the whole market.
Right.
Is that inventory and lack of homes being on the market is affecting everything else.
Absolutely. Yep.
So that, and then prices. We're up 16.9% in the past 12 months. And I was looking at this. I'm not good with math in my head. You're the math guy, so tell me this, because I'm like, this doesn't even make sense to me. The average sales price has increased 16.9% from $465.2 to $543.9. How do those numbers work? That's like almost like 100% increase, isn't it? It's like 80%. From 465 up to 543, that's almost $100,000 in a year.
$100,000.
So how does that math work? I'm genuinely curious.
It's staggering. Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, okay, we'll do the math later, but okay.
Well, here's
home prices are up a lot.
People are offering to cover way more than what the home appraises for.
Yeah.
That's a large part of it right there.
So what you're saying is they're covering the appraisal gap. So if there's a gap in the appraisal, they either have the money in the bank to come in to give the lender additional money to give them the security, knowing that they're making a solid, sound investment.
Absolutely.
So that does bring up something, at least in my mind, that buyers could be overpaying in today's market. And we'll get to this in a minute because we want to put you in a position to win, and I'm going to give you just a couple of tips in order to do that. So I'm actually not going to get off on that tangent.
Great.
So that there's really not a whole lot more to say about the real estate market. It's really freaking hard.
It is.
For buyers, you have to have thick skin. You have to have. I'm going to talk about mindset and motivation. Those are the two things that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
But talk about mortgage. What's going on in the mortgage market today?
So I think the number one thing that you need to understand more than anything, interest rates are still at a all-time historic low when we compare it to any time in our lifetimes and going all the way back to before World War II. So hear that again. Lowest rates since World War II. We're still there.
So we're talking, when was World War II? It started in the late 40s, right?
Yeah, it ended in 1944. Yeah.
It ended in 44.
44. So after the late 40s, lowest rates. So we're talking 15-year fixed going down to 2.5, 2.375, 2.25. up to maybe on the 30-year right now, high of 3.25, 3.375, just depending on what your situation is.
Yeah.
So when you can take advantage of utilizing historically low rates, your buying power has gone way up, and you can afford much more than what you potentially think you can.
So the increase in the sales price has been somewhat offset.
Somewhat, yes.
By the really low interest rates.
Correct.
Okay, so you said 2.5% on a 15, and what'd you say on the 30?
Anywhere from 3 to 3.25.
Okay.
Yep.
So around 3%. That's about as low as I've heard of it in our lifetime.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we've been in this game for a little while now.
A long time.
I say a little while, he says a long time. So whatever. Okay. Anything else on the mortgage market?
No, I think the number one thing is, why don't we shift into how do we create a situation for you as a buyer to help you win.
Yeah.
So on our side of the coin with the financial side, preparation is key. And it's not just applying for a home loan and allowing I and my team to evaluate your data and say, hey, you're good to go. We are actually taking the time to pre-underwrite our clients.
Perfect.
So we get all your documentation, we get everything dialed in, we evaluate it all, we figure out all your numbers, and by doing that, that literally removes anywhere from 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks off of the loan process, so that when you make an offer, we could potentially close in the metro area as fast as maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
And that can make all the difference on whether you win or not in a competitive offer.
Yeah, and even if it just makes a small difference, it's you're making small differences and small tweaks in offers throughout all the major pieces to put buyers in a position to win. So that is absolutely a piece of it. So now let's transition into mindset and motivation.
Yep.
The mindset that you have to have as a buyer coming in today to today's market is a winning mindset. You can't tiptoe into this market and think that you're gonna win. You are going to end up being extremely frustrated, and we do not want you to be frustrated. So I would rather scare the crap out of you right now, which is honestly, I was talking to the team about this the other day. I want to scare them. I want to scare them out of the market, because if you're not motivated to be in today's market, you're gonna be very frustrated. And that frustration is going to lead into a frustration level with us, and we don't want that. We want happy clients. We want you to think about us when you think about real estate for the rest of your life. And if we're taking you through this really challenging time in this process, we absolutely, you just have to have the right mindset going into it, and you have to want to win in today's market. So if you have any questions about like what do we do, that's like another 10-minute video where I'm happy to like walk you through the process and how we're putting buyers in a position to win, because we're closing a lot of homes today. And so what we're doing is working. Is it working every single time? Absolutely not. We're not winning every single offer. We're writing a lot of offers. Right. But we're also winning in a lot of those situations, which is what we want for you. So you have to go into this. They have to go into this with a winning mindset. Yep. And that leads into like this close second is your motivation. You have to be extremely motivated. You can't want to buy a house in today's market. You almost can't even need to. Like you have to need to move so badly that there's no other option. Right. There is literally no other option. And then listen to the good advice of your real estate professional and put together an offer that can put you in the best position to win. Now, on some houses, maybe you just don't love it enough to write that strong of an offer. Just move on. Like just wait till you find the right house, which is again another challenging situation.
It can be.
Yep.
The other thing that I would add to that we're seeing a lot on the lending side is people are having to adjust their perspective to say, you know what, I want to be in X community, but maybe I might need to adjust to the community next door. You know, you can still maintain maybe the lifestyle and the goals and the desires that you want around your preferences, but moving to that community next door or that neighborhood just around the corner, making some commitment emotionally to saying, I'm willing to flex here a little bit. As much as flexing maybe doesn't feel comfortable, it's what will win you a deal a lot of times.
Yeah.
And we are seeing that with many of our buyers on the lending side.
Yeah, and just because this real estate transaction, this purchase, is one of the biggest that you're going to experience, that doesn't mean that it's forever. It does not have to be your forever home. It could be your 2, 3, 4, 5-year home.
That's right.
And it can be a transition into what your ideal is, because maybe your ideal just isn't going to be able to come to fruition in today's market. But I love that point. Going maybe a little bit more rural or just a little bit different.
Correct.
Finding markets that maybe don't have the same level of competition, so you don't have to write these outrageous offers. Because some people, and maybe you're one of them, you're not that person that's going to write a ridiculous offer in order to win. No problem. Like,
it's okay.
Yeah, kudos for you. So thank you so much to Mr. Chad Krober for joining us today.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
It's always a pleasure to have you in the office. I always appreciate our conversation, our time together, and thank you for giving them all of the information that they need to make an educated decision on whether or not this crazy market is the right market for you to be in. We are here to be a resource. We will leave all of our contact information down below, so if you have any questions, comments, want to chat with us, we'll give you that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So,
see you later. Have a great day.
Make it a great day.